Warning, high winds approaching, water level rising, temperature increasing, voltage overloading.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the TJOmega channel. Don't know where I am in my away time, but here we go with another offbeat video. So, you're looking at the Matrix of Leadership, obviously. However, the thing with the Matrix is that no matter how well known it is to Transformer fans, this is the most famous MacGuffin in all of Transformers. It is the whole reason why Optimus Prime died and Rodimus Prime took over, causing hundreds of thousands of children to cry in theaters in 1986. This is the most legendary artifact we have, and yet the amount of replicas, and especially the things that I could call toys, are surprisingly low. Like, extraordinarily low, to the point where I can cover all of them in one video, which is what we are doing today. We are going to start with the gold standard. This is the Diamond Select Matrix of Leadership statue. And while it is a statue, it has enough toyetic functions for me to count it. Like, there are official Matrix of Leadership book stands. I don't think those count, because I wouldn't qualify a book stand as a toy. But this one comes close enough. So I believe this is cold cast porcelain. I admit I have not looked up the material on this in quite a while, but it's definitely not plastic and it's definitely not die cast. It feels ceramic is what it feels, and it sounds that way too. The paint work and the sculpt work on it is absolutely gorgeous. I mean, they put a lot of effort into sculpting all these little nooks and crannies in and then painting them in, no less. So it looks like an extremely detailed piece to jump out from the movie. Nice big Autobot symbol here. This is three-dimensional, like it actually sticks out from the base. The base itself is also really cool. It's done up in the same way the Matrix is. So you can see where they've done darker gold through these internal lines and then brighter for the actual shell. And they've done the same thing here on the base, which is really, really neat. It's very subtle, but it gives it a little bit more of a layered look, which is really, really cool. And then down to the bottom, to get the detail there they wanted, they started painting that in dark as well. Go around, there's a few other little pieces here. You can see a lot more detail along the side of the Matrix itself. Moving to the back, suspicious slot. We'll get to that in a minute. But you can see where they've made sure to get all the little details of the Matrix accurately recreated here. So you have all the little bits and bobs you expect. It's a very, very lovely piece, and about as close to 1-to-1 scale as you're going to get. Well, 1-to-1 scale would be gigantic for a human, but you know what? It's scaled for a human, right? It's as big as the Matrix would be if it was human size, if that makes any sense. But the nice thing about this one is finger holes. Now, to be honest, mine don't fit. Honestly, even a kid would have a hard time because they'd have to be able to hold their hands open at the same time. So it's a little bit tricky of an endeavor. But I will say I can get my fingertips in and then wrap my hands and hold it like so. So I actually can somewhat hold it the way that Rodimus did in the movie, which is actually really, really cool. Also, yeah, I just took it off the base. This is why I don't find it to be just a statue, because I can actually hold it like the real thing. That's actually really, really cool. The crystal inside is done with kind of like a dullish, like almost very pale blue plastic, and it doesn't really look like much right now. However, that is where the rest of this thing comes in. So let's go back to the back side of this piece, and now we have that key slot. This is one of the most clever little things I had ever seen at the time, because this was really smart. It's not just the Matrix of Leadership. You also get a small key to Vector Sigma, which is not the gigantic key it was in G1, but it is the size of a household key. So you know what? I will accept it. Also, this is a very small piece, and it's very easy to forget that it's inside this. So if you lift up or tilt this for any reason, remember that there might be a key hidden in the back here. It doesn't hold on in any way other than gravity. So I've broken this more than once. It has been glued back together more than once. Just be careful with it because, you know, this is a premium item these days. Hard to find one. So do not go making the same mistakes. But if we put the key in, it will activate the light up effect, which is really, really cool. And my camera shutter speed makes it look like it's flickering when it's actually not. That's actually interesting. So for starters, magnetic activation on toys is kind of a common thing now, especially small toys out of China do it a lot. But this was kind of fresh and different back then. I thought this was like the coolest little magic trick a Transformer item had ever done. You know, and it's a cool little light up effect. You know, you get the entire Matrix core glowing here. I don't know why it glows red and purple. Right now, that's the ideal Matrix color, right? And then it turns into this teal, which is okay, but then it turns green. Okay, it's maybe a little creation matrix, and we've gone to yellow. Now we've lost the plot. So I understand wanting to make it look a little bit different as an ambiance piece to just have on a shelf turned on. Like, okay, that's kind of neat, you know, but this thing really needed some kind of function to be able to select a color or to default it to blue so it just stays blue. You know, having it like this just means it's only accurate about 40% of the time it's on. Like, and that does get disappointing. Right now, stay that way. Nope. No, it actually flipped back to red for some reason. Hadn't seen it do that before. Okay. It is an old piece, so we're not going to harp on it too much. It tries. But yeah, then to turn it off, just take the key out or flip the switch on the underside, whichever one you choose to do. It's a really cool piece. I will admit, on its own, it's not flawless. Here, let me show you. Look at how much space is inside there. The shell is so far from the actual core crystal. That part is frustrating because like the crystals should be sticking out of the shell at least a little bit. It should be filling this. You know, it just looks weird. Like it looks weird like that. And, you know, that part I don't like. So, you know, that's whatever. So it's not flawless, but you know, it's probably the best Matrix of leadership we could possibly get. Now, well, at least we could then. You could absolutely make it better now. But that said, let's see what other options we have. So, and these are recent. Keep in mind, this Diamond Select statue is actually pretty old at this point. This is one of the first high-end things I ever bought for my Transformer collection. But when it comes to alternative synths, it's been knick-knacky stuff. It's been like little like mini collectibles, like necklaces, like I said, the bookends. Nothing really substantial. Like that, no one's taken another good crack at it. This Halloween, however, we got this. This is from the Disguise Company. And yeah, it's just a little costume prop of the Matrix of Leadership. You know, and this is kind of interesting because this came out along with the Transformer 1 costumes. This is not accurate to Transformers 1. This is absolutely a G1 Matrix. They knew what they were doing when they put this out. You know, if they made it Transformers 1, you know, some people would care, but not really. If you make it look like the G1, oh no, now you have collectors going after it. Because as I said, it's hard to get a hold of these little things. But as you can see, it is much lighter. This is just kind of costume plastic. This is kind of basic toy plastic. Nothing too solid, nothing too, sturdy. It's sturdy enough to where a kid's going to be able to hold it while they're using it as a costume piece, and nothing's going to fall apart or anything. You can see, you know, they have a lot of sculpted detail, but none of it has been painted in. You know, it's a much simpler, cheaper piece. I'll tell you, this one is supposed to retail for about 15 bucks. Online, you're going to pay overcharge because it's the Matrix of Leadership, and it's one of the only ones that is commercially available. So there you go. But you know what I see here? I see a nice gold paint all the way around the shell. That works, and you know, it goes on both sides. The crystal doesn't appear on this side. It's only on the front. But the crystal is actually taking up the entire shell, which is what I wanted. It actually sticks out from the shell. That's what I wanted. And if I hit the button, it glows blue. And only blue. So the light is very center focused. You know, it's extremely bright in the middle and it doesn't spread out quite as much as I would like. You could probably do something with multiple LEDs, or you could have some kind of refraction trick in the middle, similar to how the statue worked. But honestly, I'm just glad it glows blue. And I'm glad it's a consistent blue. And that the blue, when it's turned off, still looks correct. This still looks really, really good. So, and yeah, honestly, I'm kind of surprised because this is technically a prop for a kid's cartoon, for a kid's costume. But they do sell like adult-sized Transformer costumes as well. So I guess it's designed to work with both. The finger holes obviously are not going to work. They aren't holes. But I can hold it by both handles. So I can be Galvatron, just like ripping at this thing, just like failing to open the whole thing up. But no, for what this is, like, this is not bad at all. You know, it's a much cheaper piece, and the material quality is, you know, obviously not there. But if you just want a matrix that you're comfortable just like holding and goofing around with, this is perfectly fine. I'm actually completely happy with this one. And then there's the other recent addition to the team. If you were lucky, your Walmart stocked these for Transformers 1. This Matrix is much more accurate to the movie, so this one actually would have worked better with your costume if you went as Optimus, or rather Orion Pax and D16. This one is a little bit different. So I can't remember the company that put this out, but you had to go into your Walmart's entertainment section, like the DVD section, and there would be these boxes full of like pop culture merch. And sometimes your Walmart's got this. None of mine did. I'm going to thank Cameron right now for hooking me up with this. This was very nice of you to provide me one, or at least give me access to buying one. Thank you very, very much. This one, yeah, like this looks pretty nice. This one is painted all the way around. Like every stitch of this thing has been painted outside of the crystal core. Like all the gold, and yeah, we actually have a bunch of the silver parts that have also been individually painted as well. Even a little bit of yellow there on that one. So it is going for accurate to the movie, meaning all gold. And the display stand is removable. So you can actually just take it off and hold it like a normal Matrix. It does have these annoying pegs at the bottom, because for some reason they felt that was necessary, even though, you know, the statue that's 20 years older didn't need it. And again, I can hold this with my hands. It's a little bit small for that. I mean, I can just get my hands comfortably on it. It does have finger holes, but obviously, like, this is now toddler sized. No one will be able to get their fingers through there. But it does look really nice. It makes for a really cool display piece. That said, I do want to point out, this one is $30 retail. And I think what you're getting out of that is solely in sculpt and paint. Because if you could see, like, it's really thin. Like, the handle portion of the Matrix is actually much thinner than the standard Matrixes that we've seen on the, you know, from the other two. And the material quality does feel good. Like, it's definitely a better quality plastic than the Disguise Matrix. What's getting to me is this piece in the middle. There's no light up at all on this one. So this is just a cover. It's on both sides, thankfully, so this is accurate all the way around, 360 degrees. And there is a glitter effect to it, so it does refract some light, but it's very smooth. It has sculpting to make it look like it has that crystalline detail, but it doesn't stick out. So, yeah, it's a little bit disappointing. Like, this is not slamming a kind fan. I'm very grateful for this, and I still ultimately enjoy this piece. I just like having as many Matrices as I can possibly have. I have a HasLab Unicron. I have to have something to keep it at bay. But it's kind of, like, strange to me, like, because it really is just the plastic quality and the level of paint that separates these two. I mean, for $30, I would expect an LED in this at the very least, so the core could light up. Or I would expect it to be just a little bit better made, like thicker material, or a better quality display stand. Oh, hey look, Culture Fly. Thank you, random stand. But the random stand is also very, very much a hollow piece. Yeah, this is pretty thin and flimsy. So it works as a display piece, which admittedly, the disguised one does not. It's the only Matrix in the video today that does not have a display stand of some kind. And yeah, it is what it is. So yeah, for 30 bucks, it's definitely, like, I would say nicer on a shelf. That's how I would put it. For 30 bucks, you're like your two current options, if you can find them at retail price. Like, the disguise one is definitely more fun to pick up and mess around with, and obviously it's more G1 accurate, whereas the Culture Fly one is much more heavily painted and detailed, and it makes for a better display piece on a stand. I wouldn't pick it up and mess around with it. I wouldn't make a prop out of it, but it's okay for just being there and just like making a nice Matrix display in your shelf. And ladies and gentlemen, that's kind of it. It's these three. That's it. That's your lot for Matrix of Leaderships that feel like toys that you can just kind of pick up and mess with and goof around with. And that's it. It really is disappointing because for something that's been around for so long, it's something that so many Transformer fans know and love, it really is frustrating that like a ideal one does not exist yet. It's been almost 40 years since we first saw it. I still don't have the ideal one. Where is my Matrix of Leadership where it lights up when I put all my fingers through the holes? Where is the Matrix of Leadership that, like, when I put all 8 fingers through the holes, it lights up and starts playing the touch? Where is the Matrix that has little buttons that I can press to hear clips and songs from the movie? Where's the Matrix I can open? That's the one that none of these can open up. That's the whole thing, is opening the Matrix. I've never been able to open a toy Matrix before. Open! Oh well. Someday, but that day is not today. So pick your poison. We got 3 real genuine Matrixes out there, and then you have a bunch of 3D printed ones, which maybe not the highest quality, but they might actually do the opening thing at least. But that's what I got for you today. So thank you everyone for watching. These have been your Matrix buying options. Is either that or go find Rung and have him make you one. I think buying one of these is easier. So that's it for me today. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you next time.